Greetings from the Black Hart. Welcome to an exercise in the presentation of Bizarre Magic number 1. I thought I'd do something a little different this time and give you something to create. I'm going to recite a monologue and I want you to think of a presentation that could go along with it. The Green Eye of the Yellow God is a 1911 poem by J. Milton Hayes and is famous as an example of the genre of dramatic monologue, a music hall staple in the early 20th century. The piece was written for and performed by actor and monologuist Bransbury Williams. It has often been misattributed to Rudyard Kipling, who classed its author as being amongst his many imitators. It's set in Nepal, to the north of Kathmandu, and tells the tale of a wild young officer known as Mad Karoo, who steals the green eye of a yellow god, presumably an emerald from a gold statue, in order to impress his beloved. He is wounded during the robbery and later murdered, presumably by a devotee of the god for the theft, who returns the jewel to the idol. I first came across this as a young child, and it made a big impression on me. The thought of Kathmandu and Nepal being such remote and exotic places stirred something within me, and I determined that one day, I had no idea how, I'd visit Kathmandu. Well, it took me 60 years, but I did make it. So, here it is. There's a one-eyed yellow idol to the north of Kathmandu. There's a little marble cross below the town. There's a broken-hearted woman tends the grave of Mad Karoo, and the yellow god forever gazes down. He was known as Mad Karoo by the subs at Kathmandu. He was hotter than they felt inclined to tell, but for all his foolish pranks, he was worshipped in the ranks, and the colonel's daughter smiled on him as well. He had loved her all along, with a passion of the strong. The fact that she loved him was plain to all. She was nearly 21, and arrangements had begun to celebrate her birthday with a ball. He wrote to ask what present she would like from Mad Karoo. They met next day as he dismissed a squad, and jestingly she told him that nothing else would do but the green eye of the little yellow god. On the night before the dance, Mad Karoo seemed in a trance, and they chaffed him as they puffed at their cigars. But for once he failed to smile, and he sat alone a while, then went out into the night beneath the stars. He returned before the dawn, with his shirt and tunic torn, and a gash across his temple dripping red. He was patched up right away, and he slept through all the day, and the colonel's daughter watched beside his bed. He woke at last and asked if they could send his tunic through. She bought it, and he thanked her with a nod. He bade her search the pocket, saying, "That's for Mad Karoo," and she found the little green eye of the god. She upbraided poor Karoo in the way that women do, though both her eyes were strangely hot and wet. But she wouldn't take the stone, and Mad Karoo was left alone with the jewel that he'd chanced his life to get. When the ball was at its height, on that still and tropic night, she thought of him and hurried to his room. As she crossed the barrack square, she could hear the dreamy air of a waltz tune softly stealing through the gloom. His door was open wide, with the silver moonlight shining through. The place was wet and slippery where she trod. An ugly knife lay buried in the heart of Mad Karoo. 'Twas the vengeance of the little yellow god. There's a one-eyed yellow idol to the north of Kathmandu. There's a little marble cross below the town. There's a broken-hearted woman tends the grave of Mad Karoo, and the yellow god forever gazes down. So, there you have it, a monologue of 3 to 4 minutes long, and you have a lot to work with. A golden idol, a green eye, an exotic location, and a tragic love story. Could this be an effect with tarot or playing cards? Perhaps the appearance or disappearance of a small amulet in the shape of an eye? How about a blood-stained dagger or an antique lady's handkerchief? Firstly, you need to become familiar with the story and then decide on the actual effect. Having done that, you need to work out how to achieve the effect and then fit your actions with the monologue. Just think about how Eugene Berger did this with his classic presentation of the gypsy thread, which you can actually see on this channel. Remember, you can have some sort of setup before you begin the monologue. So, go away and think about it, then put your ideas into the comments section. Anyway, I hope this has inspired you to put your bizarre thinking cap on. If you have enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Yours in darkness, the Black Hart.